4:30, and it's called to order for the October 8th, 2025 meeting of CAMPO. Could I have a roll call, please?
Chair Novak,
Here.
Vice Chair Maloney,
Here.
Member Casanelli,
Here.
Member Erb,
Here.
Member Dodson, Member Bagwell,
Here.
Member Shooty,
Here.
Vice Chair Maloney.
Here.
Still here.
Go here.
Oh, I didn't know. A quorum's present.
Okay.
Ex officio Member Capular. I knew I missed somebody.
I'm here, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're on to item number 3, our first opportunity for public comment. Do we have anybody that'd like to speak at this point? Okay, seeing none, we have a couple of action items and there'll be additional opportunity to speak about those. So for next item, item 4, possible action, approval of our minutes of the September 10th, 2025 meeting. Any comments?
I will move approval of the minutes.
I have approval in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. All right, next to our public meeting item 5A. For possible action, discussion and possible action regarding a proposed amendment 25-05 for the CAMPO Federal Fiscal Year 2025 through 2028 Transportation Improvement Program, or TIP, with the amendment making changes to multiple projects listed in Appendix 3, including changes in funding amounts, schedules, and project descriptions, and updating the program funding listed in Appendix 1. Now, Jared, you have this one, and it looks like it's pretty straightforward, but walk us through it. Thank you.
Jared Cragen, Transportation Planner. The CAMPO Transportation Improvement Program, or TIP, for federal fiscal years 2025 to 2028 is a federally required prioritized list of fiscally constrained projects. 2 administrative amendments, Amendment 25-03 and 25-04, were completed between March 2025 and this proposed formal amendment. These amendments include updates to funding amounts and revising the name of the East Dayton Bridge project. As referred in the document revision history, the proposed amendment 25-05 will update funding as requested by NDOT for the US 50 Carson City from Frontage Road CC 11 to East Deer Run Road project. The update funding for the District 5 Ash Canyon Road project. Move preliminary engineering to fiscal year 2026 for the Carson City Jump Around Carson Transit Center project. Update funding and project description for FTA 5339 bus facility grant awards. Remove Highway Safety Improvement Program, or HSIP, funding for the Curry Street Complete Streets Improvement Project. Update funding and move construction to fiscal year 2026 for the Carmine Street CDBG project. Move preliminary engineering to fiscal year 2026 for the Solomon Road School Routes Improvement Project. Update funding and project description for FTA 5310 Mobility of Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities. Change funding category from preliminary engineering to other for the East Dayton Bridge project, and replace HSIP funds with the Surface Transportation Block Grant funds as requested by NDOT for the US 395 Carson Valley Phase 1 project. The proposed amendment also updates Table 1 and Appendix 1 to reflect the changes made to projects in Appendix 3. All proposed revisions are incorporated into the attached Exhibit 1. The public comment period was open on September 11th, 2025, and ended on October 1st, 2025. No public comments were received. And with that, I'll take any questions if there are any.
Okay, do we have any questions from any of the folks up here at all? Looking through, thank you, Rebecca. All the big projects are NDOT in the future between 50 East and 50 West and 395 South. So thanks for keeping us in mind and moving those projects along. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay. Seeing none, I will look for a motion.
I move to approve the amendment as presented.
Can I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, our next item, 5B, for possible action again, discussion and possible action regarding proposed performance targets for federal fiscal year 2026 for capital assets funded by CAMPO and used to provide public transit services as required by the Federal Transit Administration, their Transit Asset Management Final Rule, which requires agencies responsible for funding transit operations to set performance targets on an annual basis based on quantifiable levels of performance or conditioned for capital assets used in the provision of transit services, which includes buses and facilities used by Jump Around Carson, Jack, and funded by CAMPO. That's a mouthful, Marcus, so can you simplify it? Something we do every year.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Marcus Myers, Transit Coordinator. So Transit Asset Management, or TAM, targets are required to be set by October 31st annually and are based on the state or condition of Jack's assets. These targets are included as part of the annual National Transit Database submission, which is also required annually. CAMPO staff are committed to keeping all of Jack's assets in a working state of good repair, and as such, propose a TAM target of 35%, which includes 6 of Jack's 17 vehicles. As detailed in Exhibit 1 on packet page 60, 6 vehicles have been identified for replacement. Of those 6 vehicles for replacement, 4 are CU, or cutaway asset class vehicles for Jack Assist, and 2 are BU, or bus asset class vehicles for Jack's fixed route. It's worth noting that 2 of the 4 cutaway buses have been on order and are pending delivery and are expected in a few months. More details about these buses and the rest of Jack's assets can be found in Exhibit 2 on packet page 62. Targets for facilities and equipment have been set at 0%, as none of these assets have a condition rating that would call for replacement. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the board.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the group up here? I think, again, this is a standard item that we see every year, and Exhibit 2 kind of gives you all the details. And hopefully you get the buses when you want them or need them. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the federal fiscal year 2026 performance targets as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion passes again unanimously. All right. Moving,
No, wait a minute, can I just ask one? It's just a
sure.
really simple question, but are we seeing the supply chain improve for the length of time to get a bus? Or is that still awful?
It's still taking quite some time.
Darn. I thought maybe it would be starting to get better by now, but still order it and see it in a couple of years.
Yeah, the most recent quote we got, they cited tariffs as the issue with receiving the quote, and then said that it would be 20 to 24 months before production would
See
begin.
in a couple of years.
Yep, okay,
Just- Thank you.
thanks. All righty. Moving on to our next agenda item. It's the Transportation Manager's Report. And Chris, let us know what you've been working on with your staff in the last month.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris Martinovich, Transportation Manager. I wanted to update a little bit this board on the Regional Transportation Plan. We had a public meeting in late September, the 24th, I think it was a Wednesday. That's what I remember. Appreciate those who came out. We had around 20 or so attendees to that public meeting. All the materials for those who haven't attended or would like to look at it, all the materials are posted on the CAMPO's website, carsonareampo.com, if you'd like to see the materials that we presented there at the meeting. Compiling those comments we got, some adjustments are being made to one of the projects. We adjusted a few things based on some of the comments, which is good. That's the reason we have the meeting, is to adjust and get those comments. We're also now incorporating those comments into our prioritization process. I have a draft list of projects for prioritization, or fiscal constraint funding, I should say. We're working on that list, and we're working those shell game a little bit of making sure we can get the most projects funded with the appropriate buckets of money, as Commissioner Dotson and others have mentioned in the past. We are planning to hold future public meetings related to the RTP in November. We plan to hold 3 public meetings, one here at the community centers likely, one in Lyon County, one in Douglas County, to make sure we involve those partner agencies and areas as well. Those have yet to be scheduled, but we're working on finalizing some dates and locations for those venues, particularly in the Douglas-Lyon County. Douglas County will maybe work with Commissioner Erb on potential locations. It's a little tough in the northern part of Douglas County, but maybe we can find some locations there. Otherwise, definitely there'll be one here at the community center, for sure. So look for that as we work on the draft RTP, and more to come next month on the draft document itself. It's starting to come together, so getting excited about that. Related to that, as well as an update related to the RTP in terms of projects, is an update to the US 50 corridor project. That report and the US 50 East Carson Complete Street project is pretty much complete. We're reviewing the final plan, and we'll get that to this board next month as well. So I guess the teaser here is there's a lot of reading planning for next month. So I'm putting that out there now. There'll be a lot of materials to read. Looks like we have a large meeting both on the CAMPO and the RTC side in November. In terms of federal things going on, we all know the federal government continues to be shut down. However, Federal Highway Administration, Federal Transit Administration are at work. They are continuing to function. They're funded through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, so their money is continuing and they have their appropriations moving forward. We don't know what's happening with federal fiscal year 26 funds. The IIJA does define what those limits should be, but when those monies are approved for use, we've yet to get to hear information on that. But federal highways, federal transit, those are continuing, and we're having correspondence as normal with them at this time. Wanted to also note, related to the federal level, last month I attended the Association Metropolitan Planning Organization Conference. Kelly and I attended that one, and we listened to a talk related to kind of federal priorities, fiscal forecasts for the federal government. What does it mean for metropolitan planning? What does it mean for our formula funds? Generally speaking, it's consistent with what we've heard here on a local level from NDOT and from others, in that there's a lot of desire for a new transportation bill. There's a lot of people working behind the scenes trying to make this bill happen, if not prior to the expiration of the IIJA, near the expiration of the IIJA. There's a lot of desire to see a bread and butter transportation, surface transportation bill that funds road, bridges, transit, and similar things as historically has been done. What those funding levels are, I think that's the big question mark. But there's desire to get a bill done, and so we've heard that locally. I know I've heard that from Rebecca and her team, but now we've heard it on a national level too from a variety of sources across the country. So that gives me a little positivity that we'll see something. But until we do, I guess we never know. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that Jack this month is celebrating its 20th year in operation. So we have a couple of banners out there at the Jack building. So congratulations on Jack. If anyone wants a 10-year mug, I'm happy to bring one over. We can scratch out the 1 and put a 2 on there. We have a few left over there. So anyways, that concludes my transportation manager's report. I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Chris under this item? I know dealing with Washington, D.C. now at all levels, we'll be ready when they are, I guess is the best way to say it. So we'll see. All right. Item 6B, Rebecca, the NDOT report. Your board meeting is coming up. So I don't know what you
Yes.
can tell us before that meeting.
Okay, well, I think we have a good board meeting ahead. We don't have any presentations. Of course, the director will be giving her update and her report. I kind of glanced at it today, so it's not too long, and we have a couple contracts. We are seeing a few of the contracts coming in under our engineer's estimate, which is kind of shocking. We're not sure if after all this time with inflation going up, maybe things are plateauing. We're going to watch it very carefully and kind of see what trends we come out of it. But we were happy to see that. We're also hearing from the construction community that some folks have people available and they're ready to go do some work. So maybe that brought down some of the costs as well. But we're excited to see that, and hopefully we're on a new trend downward, because as you know, projects have gotten very expensive and costs have gotten expensive with inflation. One thing I want to mention is the lane reductions on I-580 in North Carson. I'm giving you a heads up that There's going to be some lane reductions on 580 over by Lake Hill, and that'll take place around October 15th and 16th. The lanes are going to be reduced in both directions on I-580 between North Carson Street and exit 8 south of East Lake, and exit 10 from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. The reason for this is our highway maintenance crews are going to be replacing concrete median barrier that were damaged in a crash. So it's important that we get out there and take care of that maintenance. Speeds are also going to be reduced to 55 miles per hour through that area. And I want to encourage drivers to take extra time and know this is coming, and maybe even take an alternate route if they can. The other item I wanted to bring up is US 50 Tahoe repaving project has wrapped up for the season. This update is for our project to what we were resurfacing US 50 from Spooner to the trailhead near US 50 through by State Route 28. You might remember that. As many of us travel through between Carson City and that area, we're wrapping up the construction this year, but it's going to be back. It's going to be wrapped up around October 15th due to the season and the weather, but it'll be back in May next year. So have a nice break. Still drive slow. You know that speed is not in our favor in that area. When the construction does return next year, drivers will see lane reductions on US 50 May through October again, just like this year, and that's going to be in 2026, of course. When the project's finalized next year, it will be smoother and a good drive for everybody who's up there visiting Lake Tahoe. So we're happy to see, and hopefully it'll be done soon. The other item I wanted to bring up is Nevada's electric vehicle charging plan, and Greg had asked me about that as well. I don't know if you heard, but Nevada's updated Nevada, this is a hard tongue twister for me, I don't know why. National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Deployment Plan was officially approved by the Federal Highway Administration, and we're really happy to hear that. It clears the way for us to have $38 million in federal funds to expand fast charging alternative stations across the state. We're going to be prioritizing deployment for the charging stations along the interstates, including I-15 and I-80 first. And we're going to primarily be focusing on the rural areas because they're really lacking. And the goal is to get the viable charging throughout the state so people can easily travel the entire state and supporting mobility for our local economies. So stay tuned for more information on that. Greg, Chair Novak, sorry, don't mean to be so informal, had asked also about a recent closure on up by Tahoe because of the over-dimensional vehicles. So I did find out that we did close State Route 28 briefly, and it was between Carson and Incline, and it was closed for briefly between 30 minutes to an hour. And this was a partnership we had with NHP because they had some wide loads that include 6 separate over-dimensional vehicles moving various components for large buildings. And I want to give you an example of when I say large, those loads were 16 feet in width and over 50 feet in length. So they felt the safest way to do that was to completely close the road. I may have another update on this next month, but I'm hearing that whatever and whoever is building, there might be more of those coming. So just to give you that information, and of course they're going to be working with us to help do some public outreach on that. I don't have any more details on that. And thank you, Chris. I have nothing to add about the shutdown. FHWA, FTA, just like Chris mentioned, are open. We're not too affected by that as of now. The only thing that, if it goes on for a while, it could possibly help stall some of our, if appropriations don't open up, it could help stall some of our abilities to do obligations for our federal 26 funding and any dollars that are coming for new money. But right now, we're not seeing that being an issue. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And if you want to watch the board meeting, you can watch it online too on Monday.
Okay, any questions for Rebecca about NDOT's role? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 6C, other comments and reports or future agenda items. Do we have any members who would like to chime in at this point? Let us know what's going on. No, okay. Sounds like we're good. Okay, up to item 7, our second and last opportunity for public comment. Do we have any folks that would like to speak at this point? Okay. Well, seeing none, and we've made it through our agenda, it's time to adjourn. And just to be clear, there is no RTC meeting today. We'll be back for a long session, I guess, next month. So at that point, I guess
Gonna
we're
have to
done.
make up for it.
Yeah,
You
oh,
know
yeah.
it's coming.
There's a makeup exam coming. Okay. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you.